Welcome to the Park Bench. I'm David Hawksworth, your host, and we're here with Dave Outerkirk. Dave, welcome to the program.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be part of it.
Fall soccer is coming up, but
Yeah.
big part of what you do.
Yeah, this is a busy time of the year. Our outdoor program for youth soccer that goes from second grade all the way up through eighth grade is in the registration process right now. That ends on Monday the 15th. We'll end up with 150 to 175 kids signed up for it, and 2, 3, 4 teams. I mean, right now I think I have 4 teams from out of town that are coming in also. So yeah, it's turned into kind of a big program. It's nice, along with the club programs that we have. We've started to kind of fill the complex again.
So you mentioned second through eighth grade. How
Right.
are they divided up? Just by grade? Or?
Yeah, second and third is a division that plays together.
Okay.
Fourth and fifth is a division that plays together. And then because Salina goes to middle school at sixth grade, we have the middle school division, which is sixth, seventh, and eighth. Sometimes by eighth grade, a lot of the eighth graders have either went club or picked another sport, whatever. So we don't have a ton of eighth graders all of the time. Sometimes we do. Last season we kind of did. But yeah, that's how we break it up. Second, third, fourth, and fifth, and then the middle school division.
Okay. All the games are right here. We're here at the Salina Soccer Complex.
Yeah, we play everything here. We've pretty much transitioned everything soccer in Salina to the complex. It used to be we were kind of spread out in different places, but now the high schools both practice the high school season out here. The boys program here in the fall, both teams will practice out here because football kind of takes the stadium, and then in the spring, the girls' high school teams rotate out here. So yeah, anything you see going on out here, it kind of varies what time, but we're going to be busy. But once the high school season starts, from about 3 o'clock to dark, this place is starting to get pretty crowded. So,
Right. Let's get into the details
Okay.
on the program. How many practices a week? How many games do they play?
They'll play. So one of the things that I did when I first started is implement, because we have the lights out here, is implement an evening during the week. So Thursday nights, we try to get every team to at least have, except for the out-of-town teams, one night where they play kind of underneath the lights. Gives the kids a different experience. Then they play Saturday. So generally they'll only play one game a week, but sometimes if you played that Thursday night, you might also play on Saturday, so you might play a couple games in a week. Mm-hmm. Practices for the Parks and Rec, a lot of times it just varies based on what the families for the teams can do and what the coach can dedicate to the program. Mm-hmm. So at least once a week, but some teams will practice as much as twice a week. Now, pretty much all the club teams, if you're on any of the club teams that travel down and play, kind of higher level soccer, they'll practice a couple times a week.
How much does the registration cost for fall soccer?
For individual registration, we do it 2 different ways. For individual player registration, where I put the teams together based on the school that they go to for the fall Parks and Rec soccer, it's $55 per player, and that includes the shirt, and then any of the practice use of the facility, that's kind of included into it. That's why we don't charge for that. Mm-hmm. And then team registration, if you have a team that you're bringing in and you're taking care of your own uniforms and shirt and all that kind of stuff, it's $275 to bring a team in here. So the out-of-town teams, or if there's a Salina team, that one of the things that I'm trying to get so that we do by middle school have kind of uniform teams is that if a second, third grade team that I put together that year wants to stay together, they can stay together, and that coach is a parent or whatever, and that way they have some uniformity as they move through the second, third grade, then on to fourth and fifth grade. So we have some Salina Parks and Rec teams that have stayed together and just joined the program again, and that's something that I think has benefited the program too. I try to accommodate it that any way you want to join and play Parks and Rec soccer, I can get you. I'll either find you a team or I can put and form a team.
Okay, all right. When does practice begin?
Registration ends Monday the 15th. I'll form teams after that. Some teams that have already formed are already practicing. There's been a couple teams out here anyway, I know. But as far as any teams that I form, it'll probably start the end of next week, like maybe the 18th, 19th, right in there somewhere. For sure the week after that. And then our games for the Parks and Rec League will start September 10th. Okay. And then we run through end of October. So about a month and a half to a month and 3/4. So 1 game to 2 games a week at the tops. You get 6 games, and plus the great thing that I think the kids really enjoy, and I know some of the parents and coaches really enjoy, is we do an end of season tournament. Okay. No extra cost. just all the teams that played in the league that can come back, especially for the out-of-town teams. We put a weekend together where I bracket everybody according to what they finished in the season. And so you get your 6 regular season games, and generally you get at least 1 game in the tournament, sometimes 2 or 3. And then I hand out medals for those. So it's kind of cool. I mean, I know everybody kind of enjoys that tournament. With COVID and everything, we didn't do it one year, and I heard a lot about it. It's like,
right.
Well, I want the tournament back. So yeah, it's a good deal. It's
Well,
fun.
yeah, that's for $55. That's pretty good.
It's a lot. We pay for the refs and everything out of there. Like I say, we're just trying to do it as cost effective as possible. One of the requirements for the city is that I'm not mandated to necessarily make money. I'm just trying to break even.
Mm-hmm.
So this isn't about profit. It's about providing opportunity for the kids of the community that want to play soccer.
What does having this facility mean to soccer in Salina? I know we were talking before we went on the air. It's been around about 15 years now.
Right.
So what has this facility meant to soccer in Salina?
Well, it just gives access to people that maybe want to try soccer, to do something that is a little bit more local and a little bit easier to access. And the fact that we have a facility that's dedicated to soccer only allows me the flexibility to kind of do anything and everything I want. I'm not just dealing with a field that's in some park somewhere. This is a facility that's dedicated. So like we talked about earlier, I can paint and maneuver fields and goals according to what the needs are for soccer in Salina and at that season and that time. So I think just ease of access and flexibility of having something that people can see on a regular basis and say, yeah, we want to give soccer a try, and there's a great facility out there for us to do it on. Practice is also something that, before we had this facility, they had to go here or there. Bill Burke had a couple fields, and Oxbow had a field, and Jerry Ivy had a field, and not all of them were consistent as far as how nice they were. Some of them a little bit better than others. This field, I think you can see this complex. I mean, you really don't have any bad space out here as far as practicing soccer. Another thing that's unique about this is, we have areas with pads set up for fields with goals, but people can go out there just into open space, set some cones out, set a couple flags up or whatever, and play a kind of a makeshift game of soccer. I mean, one of the things worldwide you see is these makeshift fields, right, and the ability to just throw a ball out there and have some fun playing soccer. So even if all of the pads with goals are full, we can still have soccer occurring on different areas of the field. In fact, I did a practice last night for 30 or 40 kids that we didn't do any shooting, we didn't use a goal. Mm-hmm. It was just kind of a fun technical practice where we worked on moves and stuff. So it's just great having the flexibility to have a complex like this to do almost anything you want soccer related.
Okay. We were also talking that you're busier now than you've been in a while.
Yes.
Especially now that with the field house, some
Sure.
of the winter things going on.
Yeah, the field house has been a great thing in that now it's for at least the availability of soccer 12 months out of the year. Summer and winter have always been kind of off-season programs. When I started, we started offering summer 3v3, and it's grown from having 10 or 12 teams to where this summer we had 26, 27 teams. Mm-hmm. All local teams playing. So just in the summertime, we had around 130 kids playing soccer on different teams. Then in the winter, you don't really have to shut down. We go in there and play what's a hard court form of soccer called futsal, and it's a different low bounce ball. It's a different flow of game. It's very fast, but it's the ability for kids to stay in touch, and that's been something that I think has helped the competitive level of almost all of the teams in Salina, because some of the Parks and Rec kids that really want to play soccer are still playing futsal in the winter. And it just gives them another chance to enhance their game and kind of learn a new way to play soccer and have to do it a slightly different way. Because, when you're on a fast court, the ball rolls a lot easier, so it's a much more like direct to your feet type game versus like here, I'll play it into space and a kid will run onto it as it rolls out on a big field. You don't really have that chance on a basketball-sized court, basically. Right. It's a fun, fast-paced game that I think once everybody got exposed to it, has picked up popularity. So yeah, there's only a couple times of the year for just very short periods of time where I don't have a soccer program offered for people. So yeah, it's a great thing.
So how does soccer in Salina compare to soccer programs in the rest of the state?
Well, I think, Kansas City's kind of the hotbed for soccer in
Sure.
Kansas. I mean, they've got, a lot of people don't realize, but Blue Valley Soccer Club, the Heartland League, is like 4th or 5th in the nation as far as total population of kids in the clubs, mm-hmm. in the club teams. So soccer in Kansas is kind of driven there, but like soccer in Salina, we compare very well, if not above, some of the other kind of regional, like McPherson and Hayes and Manhattan, Junction City combination. I mean, with the bigger college there, they have a pretty good program, but with Kansas Wesleyan has been great support for us here. So we have access to soccer information and soccer players to do different things with. So I think we compare very favorably. Obviously, the complex itself is one of the best complexes. It's grass, it's not turf like a lot of the other facilities, so we have some other issues to deal with, but it's a great facility, and I haven't had anybody come here and not be impressed with how it looks and just how many fields we can work with and what kind of things we can do on it.
Yeah, so many benefits.
Yeah, we can do anything we want soccer related. So and I think Soccer Fest will be a nice exposure for the complex, just so that everybody, if you haven't been out here or haven't done much out here, you're going to have a chance to kind of spend the day running around on the grass at the soccer complex, kicking a soccer ball around.
Right,
So.
right. Well, that sounds like a lot of fun.
It should be. I hope anyway.
All right, so let's recap. Registration information for the fall soccer program.
If they go to salinasoccer.org, www.salinasoccer.org, that's a web page that I run, and it has a link to take them to the registration area, so that way they can sign up either a team or an individual kid to play. Individual players, I put them on teams based on the schools that they go to. So the great thing about that is that friends play with friends. So if little Joey or Susie has a friend that they sign up and they say, "Hey, I want you to play soccer with me," you don't have to worry about when that friend signs up, if they're from Hughesner or from Stewart or from whatever, they're going to play with their friends. So that's the great thing, and I think has helped the program too. So yeah, we'll end the registration for that on August 15th, which is Monday. Teams will be put together in the next week after that, and then we start playing in September.
Okay. Well, sounds like a lot of fun for a lot of kids this fall.
Looking forward to it. This fall and the spring seasons are always some of my favorite because we get a big group of kids, and it's just fun to see all the activity out here on Thursday nights or Sunday or Saturday mornings.
Yeah,
so,
definitely.
Yeah.
Well, Dave, thanks a lot. I really
pleasure.
appreciate your time.
Hey, it's been great. I enjoyed it.
All right. Well, thanks again.
Thank you.
And we'll see you next time on the Park Bench.